Hello, YouTube. I'm your host, Gripped Across, and today we're back with an all-new episode. In this one, I'm going to go over a recent comic book haul that I picked up, and I'm going to explain to you why I picked up the comics that I picked up, and they all have something in common with them. So after I show you guys what comics they are, I'm going to let you guys know what they have in common. So yeah, I ended up getting 24. Actually, I got more, but in this one I'm going to show you 24 comics from Mycomicshop. Most of them are lower grade, but some of them are mid to higher grade. All right, let's get into it. So, first one up, we got Conan the Barbarian 41. So, this one is, it's a lower grade. So, we got good. And, yeah, the staples don't look bad. Spine, I mean, honestly, there's no real spine tick. So like, honestly, for good, I think we're up there. All right, number 2, we got Astonishing Tales, number 22. So this one's starring It, the Colossus. So these are gargoyles. And this one again, lower grade. Yeah, this one's a good. So I would say that this is probably like a 2.5 to 3, but it presents decent. Like, there's no real issues with the front cover, so I like it. All right, let's go to the next one. We have The Man-Thing. This is number 8. And this is probably the lowest grade comic that I got in the whole haul. You can see up there. Not the best condition. Honestly, if I had saw this, I would have left it. But great comic. Great comic. And it's still got the value stamp. Number 37, The Watcher. So, appreciate that. Alright, let's go to the next one. We have Journey into Mystery number 6. So this one is What Was the Sinister Secret of Mr. Wumple? And, you know, this one's condition is very good. Presents nicely. So I'm happy with it. You know, nothing major. There's not that many major keys in these older like mystery and stuff like that. But there's good stories, and if the price is right, I would say you pick them up. You pick them up because people like to be completists. So once they're done with one thing, they go on to the other, and it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before they start picking up that stuff. All right, next up we have A Werewolf by Night, number 8. And this one is decent condition, actually. Let's see, what is the grade? So this is very good, 4.5. So still not the best, but like from Mycomicshop, they don't really take in that many like super low grades. So for these books, they grade them pretty hardly. Like they grade them. They're pretty harsh on their grading criteria. On these, I feel like these Bronze Age, My comic shop and those bigger shops in general, I think, are harsh on them, just because they don't carry a lot of it. So in their estimations, like they have to have some ones and twos, and if they're not buying ones and twos, or like they have to have like some 2.5s and threes, I should say. And if they're not like really, if they're turning away those like twos and threes in the wild, then like they're gonna split their 4.5s downwards, right? They're going to split their fives downwards. So they're going to take like the better fives and grade them harsher into like fours because they just don't have any fours, right? So it like makes a complete. At least that's how I see it. You don't see bad comics coming from my comic shop. A lot of them are in decent condition, even if they're graded lower. So that's something to consider if you guys are out there buying off eBay, right? You could get some random guy that's selling it, and everything is low condition and has mold, and it's just hassle to deal with later, right? You got to return it, and it's like, do you even want moldy stuff, right, coming to your place? You don't. My comic shop, they're not taking anything with mold, so their low grade are better than the general population of low grade. All right, up next we have Kid Colt Outlaw number 161, and I don't normally get westerns, but in this buy I decided to get a couple westerns. They're cheap, they're decent to read, they look good, and if they turn it to be rare, who knows what could happen with them. And this one's in a nice condition. They rated it at good, very good, but honestly, I think it's quite a bit better than that. It presents super nice. Like, look at the title. Look at Marvel Comics Group. Look at the title. Look at the writing. There's no like breaks in color. So I think I did pretty good there. Alright, up next we have another Kid Colt Outlaw, number 173. Guns Roar and Gila Pass. Alright, so this one is very good 4.5, so they say that this one is a higher grade than the last one, but honestly, like in the color, I don't know if you can see it, but in the color, like the other one had better color, especially on the writing. This one's good, but the other one had better. So, for these lower grade comics, they're not too picky over at my comic shop. You should go gamble, like seriously. See what they have. All right. Up next, we have more. What is this? Is this Astonishing Tales? Yeah, we got another Astonishing Tales with Kazar. Astonishing Tales number 19. The Super Soldier strikes. And Kazar's getting choked out by this badass super soldier. I don't know, is Kazar gonna make it? He's probably gonna flee back to his jungle. And this one's very good, but just the same as the other ones. Actually, well, this one on the title you can see. Maybe you can't see, but there's definitely some scuffing on this one, but no color breaks on the spine, which is like way better than like most raw eBay like 7.0s, right? They all have kind of color breaks going on, and these don't. So that's a win. Even though I don't normally pick up Kazar, I don't normally pick up Jungle. I'll tell you, I don't normally get Jungle, Western, War. There was one more. Jungle, Western, War. Oh man, I can't think of it. But yeah, normally I do not pick those up. Just because People don't collect them as much. All right, so next up we have another Conan the Barbarian. This one is number 35. Hellspawn of Karashari. What is it? Karashara. And these Conans, this one's a fine. It looks better than fine though. Well, I don't know. Fine is what, 7? So I guess this is a fine. There you can see. Shiny. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, beautiful stuff. And all these have their Marvel value stamps intact. It's one thing to look out for. If you buy comics, make sure you check them. Make sure the value stamp's intact, because even the biggest, most set up comic shop, they can miss that stuff if they're busy, or who knows, right? Something slips by, they misplace a comic. That reminds me, in this order, I actually had 2 comics. So I actually had 2 comics that weren't the ones that I ordered. So like I was saying, there could be mistakes, right? So you always gotta verify for yourself. Okay, next up we have Luke Cage, Power Man, issue number 20. And this one is very fine 8.0. So this is a nice one. This is a nice one. And, you know, from Mycomicshop, who knows what this could be in the CGC, right? Because, like I said, they grade hard. They grade hard because they do so much volume. They're not losing money on any of their trades, really, so they grade hard for the peace of mind, I think, right? They don't want people complaining. You know, and the stuff that they'll grade like very accurately, they'll have scans for. These lower ones, they don't really have as many scans. Like, it's just it's a threshold that you reach. All right, next up we have Conan the Barbarian number 38. This one is another nice copy. Fine to very fine. There you can see the writing. Pretty nice. Nothing real sticking out as damage. There's no breaks in the spine. Honestly, this is a nice one. I think they have this graded at a 7.5 or an 8 on the sheet. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Up next we have another Conan the Barbarian, number 36. And again, these Conans, this is a very fine plus, so I think this is like an 8.0 or maybe a 7.5. I ended up getting 2 of these 36s because they had to. They had to, so I had to. What do you think? This one's a very fine Sing comic. And then, last but not least, actually probably least, last and probably least, we have 4 copies of the same Weird Worlds. So this is a weird pickup. They had 4, so I got 4. And they're all in good condition. Actually, this one is a good at 3.0. Honestly, this is better than a good 3.0. Like, there's a little bit yeah, I'll get this one out and show you guys. Also, now it's time to show you what what the purpose of this purchase, or what the theme of this purchase was. So, if you were paying attention closely, you might have noticed that on some of these labels it says MJ. And the MJ on the label stands for Mark Jewelers. So, every single one of these comics is a Mark Jewelers comic. And I basically was trying to buy out my comic shop from their Mark Jeweler comics of a certain theme. Yeah, so this one's creased. This one is like the worst copy of the four. And the other ones are kind of fine. But honestly, not bad. Like, another thing with the big comic shops is you get these lower grade comics, and a lot of them are pressed. A lot of them are like cleaned up, and that's a really nice thing when you're buying comics, because if you like to have them pressed, I was researching it, and it can be, well, it's here in Ontario, the one big guy wanted $30 per comic, so that can get pricey. So when you buy from my comic shop, or you know, a lot of the bigger comic shops on eBay or the internet, they'll come pressed, so that's good. So yeah, I got 4 of these, and yeah, they're all Mark Jewelers. Oh, I should have showed you. So if you haven't seen Mark Jewelers before, they have 2 extra pages, so that increases the size of the book. And the extra page is a cardboard insert. At least in the older ones they were cardboard. I'm not sure. In these ones they're cardboard. So I'll show you. So we have we have the comic. And then flip through. Now we get to the middle, and we have this this insert, and you can see that they were trying to sell jewelry. They were selling jewelry to soldiers that they could send back to their loved ones when they are out in the line of duty. So there you can see what we're talking about. And these were only sold around military bases. And I'm not sure too many of the details besides that. You know, I'm not sure how many military bases. I'm not sure where the military bases could be, if they were only in America or if they were international. I have no clue. But these cardboard inserts are in the military ones, right where the staples are. I wonder, does it help the protection of the comic book, or does it hurt it by having a harder piece where the staples are? I mean, this side's less likely to be ripped, but does it give any tension on the other side, or does it stabilize the other side? That's something that I wonder about for the longevity of these items. But yeah. So they're all Mark Jewelers, and what I was doing was I was purchasing the lower cost Mark Jewelers, and the reason I was doing it is because the rarity factor. So and also the factor of a lot of these, well, so like the printing is rare, but also in the era that I chose, it was specific because it was a wartime era. So I chose comics that were printed in late 1973, early 1974. And during that time period, there was a big shift in world dynamics. So there was an oil crisis. And Israel, where did they had a war in in late '73. I forget what war it was. Let me just look real quick. But basically, after this war, throughout the '70s, uh, the world went through hyperinflation. So immediately during this time period, it went from 20 cents to 25 cents. And then within a couple years' time, it went from 25 cents to 35 cents. And then by the end of the '70s, it was up to I think 40 cents. So it almost doubled during that time period when it was only getting about 50% add-ons before. And there's examples all throughout the goods, throughout collectible goods, where the production and the cost to acquire these goods went up significantly. Also, the price of oil went up significantly. I think it went up like 5 or 6x during a 3 or 4 year time span. So I chose this time period specifically, and it's also the very, very start of the Mark Jewelers prints. Um, so what I did is uh, I went and bought every single comic book of this era, from the start of the war to the end of the war, and all in Mark Jewelers. And in my opinion, they're going to be more rare than other Mark Jewelers, just because during times of change, times of change, people also change. So like people collecting, they can change their values and just stop collecting, especially during these times. There's a lot of trauma inflicted on people. Trauma makes people take less care of certain items. It makes them focus on like um, the less what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry guys, this is really bad. Less essential, right? So during wartime and times of trauma, people discard things where they have to take extra care in, because uh, their care is being affected. They're when you do trauma, you tend to like uh, forget the things that you care about. So I think specifically during this era, with the trauma, with the memory tied to war, with the inflation, with the rarity of Mark Jewelers, I think that what I've picked up is really, really good stuff for future just investment, and it's fun stuff too. I love it all. I love it all, and almost every one of these comics was under $10. You know, there's not keys, but if there's not a lot of these, they are keys in themselves because they're part of a collection. If people want to finish those runs, they'll need to find these books in Mark Jewelers, right? If they want to have the early Mark Jewelers stuff, because that's iconic, that's tied to something. Uh, they might not be available, and then it is a key. It is a key based on its rarity. Like there's so many old books that they're not keys, but they're rare. A few people want them to finish their collection, and because they're not all available, the price goes up, right? So they don't have to be keys if people still need them, right? So that's the way I see it. And maybe none of them go up in value. Maybe it was a terrible purchase. You know, I just paid 3 times the price of like bulk comics. I just paid 3 times the price for 2 extra pieces of cardboard in each comic, and it's really not worth anything. And yeah, so that's worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, I lose 2/3 of what I put in. Best case scenario, I have books that I paid $5 worth that end up selling for 150, right? So worst case scenario, I lose 70%, right? And that's like really, I'm not losing 70% on these. I'm not losing 70% on a $6 comic that's Mark Jewelers um, from 1973. I think that I could get $6 back from that. And if not, it's just a nice part of my collection and it's a rare piece, right? So I don't need to get $6 back, but I think that I could get $6 back. Yeah, and that's worst case scenario, right? So, and best case scenario, they spike up big time because people realize there's not much of it. Anyways, so I have actually a few more of these shipments coming in. All the same type of stuff, but different stuff, different themes coming in. Like these were a lot of Marvel, and then I had the 4 DCs at the end. So I have some other ones coming in that are a little bit different. I got some Disney coming in. I got some Gold Key, but they're all from the same era, and some of them are a little bit nicer too. I do have some keys coming in, so stay tuned. If you like this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other stuff. I make some art, some video media art. It's just supposed to inspire you. It's not supposed to be anything like too impressive, right? Don't look to be impressed, but like if you want to be inspired with kind of a vibe that you might not have seen before, or you might see something that's nostalgic that really inspires you. Check out some of my old stuff because I think that it's pretty good, and maybe some of you guys can get some enjoyment out of it. All right, so now we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and again, I'm your host, Gripped Across. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you next time.